Students, hi, and welcome back to Entrepreneurship 110. This is your first specific YouTube video instead of our Collaborate video. So I'm going to try and use this format for us because I think it will be a little bit, hopefully the volume is up high enough. Maybe I'll turn the volume up a little bit higher. There we go. All right, my voice is finally returning after almost 2 weeks, but still a little raspy. So this week in our class, we have several things going on, and we are going to circle back around to our business plan outlines. And so I know a lot of you are excited about your outline and an idea that you might have, or at least using an idea as an exercise for this course. So this course, there are other courses that we'll be offering in the fall that build on this course, entrepreneurial marketing, entrepreneurship and financing are two I know that we'll be offering in the fall. And I believe we're also offering possibly the course that is actually building your entire business plan. So that being said, this class, our one outcome is to kind of get our feet wet with our text, right? And our feet wet with some of the components that are important when you are starting a business, right? And how you can kind of channel your inner entrepreneurial spirit. All right, so circling back around to our business plan outlines, and that we had posted our ideas in, not only did we talk about them in our midterm, but we posted them in a discussion post earlier in the term. Now, chapter 10 in your text is all about preparing a business plan. And so for this week, there are the following assignments. I'm going to send an email out, and you'll receive the email and have a link to this video, right? So you'll click on this video first. And so it's a little overlapping, right? You'll get the email will bring you to this video. And so chapter 10, you're going to view this video is the first thing. And then you are going to read chapter 10 from the text. Chapter 10 from the text starts on page, I believe, 227, preparing a business plan. And so some of our objectives, we're going to look at stakeholder interests. We're going to look at how to get, people's attention, and things like how do we solve a problem, right? How do we make money? How do we, that whole idea of the founding team that we just worked on. Is it the right time to launch your idea? And what kind of investors might be you looking for? Are you using traditional banks or other types of investors? And then starting to talk about the business plan, the components of the plan, some mistakes that we see in developing a business plan, and how do you get that business off the ground, right? And so in chapter 10, that from the text, it's all about writing the business plan. So you're going to do that. You're going to go through and read chapter 10, and then next you will look through the PowerPoint. PowerPoint is really just an outline then of chapter 10 and kind of hitting that home. And then I have a video for you. It's about a 10-minute video from a lady named Jillian Perkins. And Jillian, I have the link, will be right on your email. And it is also under chapter 10 in Blackboard, and you'll see in there the HTTPS video link if you do not have it in or it's not working in your email. Now this video goes through, it's basically a narrative or a story of a lady and her how she started a business, but she didn't really have a business plan. And then she got a business plan later as her business started to grow, and kind of like how she went about, in her own words, writing up a business plan and what her thought process was. And so that's a very interesting video. And as you are moving toward the next or the last components of this course, and the last components are coming together that will make up your business plan outline, this is a great video for that, kind of tying it all together. All right, so the chapter 10 homework then for us, and let me just pull this up here quickly. The chapter 10 homework is, not only does it list, you'll see when you click on chapter 10 homework, 10 mistakes that entrepreneurs make, right? So you'll want to review that when thinking about your own business plan outline, which you'll be using this outline then to actually write your business plan in the business plan class, which is a whole course. And so the homework will be, and you'll click on that homework, and I'm just going to give you the highlights of it. You're going to go to something called www.bplans.com, and there's a whole bunch of business plans in there, sample business plans. And you're going to pick one to review, right? And you're going to give me just a short review, 1 to 2 pages, 2 pages max, about, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the business plan. So you're going to look at it and say, what do you think is important? What are some of the strengths of this and what might be kind of weak? Because now you've kind of seen a few of the things that make a business plan work. And we've talked a lot about business plans. After you review chapter 10, after you watch the video from Jillian, you will have some more tools, right? What areas you think could be improved. And so in doing that, you can also use, so that will be your assignment for this week. And you can find that on Blackboard as well. Homework chapter 10. Now, there's also something listed in this section, right under chapter 10. When you go into Blackboard, there's chapter 10. You'll see the video, right? The Jillian video link there. Over to the, if you're looking at your screen, it'll be to the right. There's a little down arrow. You're going to need to click on that. And so it flips, or it's probably up arrow. You click on it and it goes down, and then another drop down will come out of that. And in that drop down, there is something you'll see, SBDC_BP. And this is the Small Business Development Center's business plan outline guide. And so the Small Business Development Center, I will talk a little bit more about what that does and what that is next week. But that is our local chapter that is housed over on the first floor of the CBI building at 9th and State. And there are 8 of those across the Pennsylvania. And the Small Business Development Center is actually a government agency from the Small Business Administration. And it's set up there with the tools. You can go in there and get free help in starting your business, right? So this is going to be, in reality, if you are wanting to launch a business, that is going to be one of the best tools that you have, this Small Business Development Center. They will help you write a business plan. They will talk to you about competition. They will help you find funding. They have some grants available for you to apply for, depending on what industry you're in, depending on what your background is, depending on if what your nationality is. They have specific grants that were set up by individuals for, non-traditional entrepreneurs, we'll say, in the local region. And so you want to make sure you tap into all of that funding and you utilize all of the resources that the Small Business Development Center has. And so we will talk a little bit more about them next week, but I do have this business plan up there for you, this sample business plan. Now, there are 9 sections. We'll be using this. We're not going to be using this. You could use it to critique in that business plan, in your homework for this week, in the business plan critique. When you go to bplans.com and you look up a business plan and you critique it, you can use this guide. But this guide really will be used for our final project, which will be due on May 10th. And there are several sections in there. It talks about a table of contents, and there's a couple other sections at the end. But really, we're looking at sections 1 through 9. And again, I'm going to outline this in the email that you get and talk about it more as we go through the last couple weeks. So sections 1 through 9 are what's going to be in your final business plan outline. And so you're going to go through those different sections. And let me see if I can pull some of those up for us. And I will just briefly talk about those sections. All right. So when you pull up the business plan outline PDF, what you will see is it talks about a cover sheet and table of contents. I'm not that concerned that you have those. For your final project that will be due May 10th, and next week's homework, which will be a 3 to 5 page slide show or a PowerPoint that you'll post to the discussion board, which will also be our last discussion post, will be based on your final business plan outline. Your final business plan outline, no more than 3 to 4 pages, and it's not going to be like a traditional paper. It is going to be in the format of, you have 9 sections, right? First section, statement of purpose. You're going to talk a little bit about what your business name would be, what's the owner situation, what type of maybe financing or you will have. And then that's first section. So these are listed in that sheet, that PDF, but you're only using 1 through 9, not the extra stuff. You're going to have a description of your business. There's a whole list of bullet points under that when you're looking at the PDF. You don't need to do all of these, right? I only want 3 to 4 pages total. And so pick a couple, or maybe certain sections will be longer for yours, whatever it is that you have kind of figured out, right? Relative to each section. Now, when you're writing this, you'll have your 9 sections. You can write a small paragraph to complete that section, or you can write bullet points as to things happening in that section. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about this as we get closer, but this is what our final project will be, and it's due May 10th. What did I say? First one was statement of purpose. Second one, description of business. Third one, description of location. Where's it going to be? Description of the market. Number 4, and some target market information in there if you have it. 5, description of competition. 6, description of any advertising you might do. 7, description of pricing and your sales. 8, description of your management. And 9, description of your personnel. So like, who are the people you're going to have working there? Maybe it's just you, so that'll be a short section, right? Maybe you have 5 people. So some of these sections will be shorter, some will be longer. Again, no more than 3 to 4 pages for your total project. But I'll talk a little bit more about that next week. Getting back to chapter 10, even though I posted this SBDC business plan under this week's assignment, I want you to start looking at it and thinking about, I know most of you have a pretty good idea of what your plan is. You're just going to format it into this 1 through 9 business plan outline for your final project. And just keep reworking it and thinking about anything new that comes to mind relative to competition, relative to multiple things happening with your plan. All right, so getting back to this week's, so this is just, you're just going to review that and review that SBDC BP. And so again, it's just a guide, and I have all this listed in the email as well. So this week, chapter 10 is the last chapter that we'll read from the text. Next week, for our work, which is really our last week of work, because then I give you, during that final week of classes, we will be turning in our final paper, and I will also be administering a final exam, which is similar to your midterm, but actually a little bit shorter. And I will be sending that out and posting that Friday, May 6th in the morning, and it will be due Sunday, May 8th in the evening. But this is also, I will remind you of all of this later. Next week, there will not be additional reading other than you'll be working on your business plan. Your PowerPoint will be due for your assignment next week. I will set up a discussion post, and you'll post your PowerPoint in there, 3 to 5 slides. If you have any issues trying to figure out PowerPoint, let me know. I could send a tutorial, or I could Zoom with you or do some sort of collaborate. We could talk about it there. I just want you to practice doing slides. A lot of you have done slides in other classes of mine or in other classes. So just get in there. You can use the same PowerPoint font that you've used in other classes. I'm fine with that, but just keep practicing this PowerPoint idea. You do not have to do voiceover. If you want to, that's great, but you do not have to. It's more about building that PowerPoint. And that will be due May 3rd for our that will be our only assignment for next week. So you'll have videos next week. I have a whole host of videos that I want you to watch. And then you will be posting that PowerPoint next week. The final week of classes, you will be doing your final and sending your paper. So that is basically how we are going to end up the semester. And again, always feel free. You can text me, 814-490-6473, or email me, crobertson@ec3pa.org. And I also have a Zoom link. So I can send you a Zoom link if you want to chit-chat that way. We can jump on Collaborate if you would like. We just have to have a specific time that we do that. And I think I covered everything. These YouTube videos, I feel like, are going to be fairly successful. So you'll get this link. You'll have this, be able to access these through that link in your email. Let's see if that is it for me. Just want to double check your Blackboard, make sure I covered all the sections for. All right, so you're going to do business chapter 10. You'll do the video. You'll have the SBDC BP business plan PDF there. You have the chapter 7 or chapter 10 PowerPoint, and then you have the chapter 10 homework assignment, which you'll need to click on and read that full homework assignment. Again, questions, let me know. You know how to access me. Have a wonderful afternoon. I will check back in with you. I'll send an email with a link for a quick check-in, probably next, maybe Sunday or Monday, and probably Monday, and we'll go from there, finishing out the term. So finish up strong. I'm very excited about how well everyone's doing, and I look forward to seeing your PowerPoints and your final business plan. And this week, you are going to just email me your 1 to 2 page critique of a business plan you choose from that businessplans.com, bplans.com. All right, have a wonderful afternoon. My ENT 110 students, if I can figure out how to get, there we go. Instructor Robertson signing off.